Hello everyone, I'm Joshua Lee. Today I want to talk about controlled vocabulary. Here are the four main contents that I'm going to cover in my presentation. The first one is definition, second one, difference with keywords, third one, example, the last one, relate to technical communication. Before the first part, I want to ask one question. Why should we use controlled vocabulary? When we chat with others, we're speaking natural language. This language is not easy for everyone to understand. There may exist professional terminology and flowers of speech. We will organize our information and label it. However, there is so much richness and confusion in terminology that we often need to impose some order to facilitate agreement between the concepts within the site and the vocabulary of the person using it. Here is the definition. Amy Warner defined it as organized lists of words and phrases or notation systems that are used to initially tag content and then to find it through navigation or search. About Fred List, he defined it as a way to insert an interpretative layer of semantics between the term entered by the user and the underlying database to better represent original intention of the terms of the user. Here are the difference between the controlled vocabulary and keywords. About language, the CV often use the predefined and higher order terminology, while keywords often use natural language. The CV only searches the subject or the descriptor field in a database record, while keywords often search all fields in a database record, including title, abstract, text, and so on. The results of CV usually relevant to a topic, while the results of keywords sometimes not. The CV narrows your search, providing few results, while keywords broadens your search, providing more results. The CV is less flexible than keywords because it searches only available predefined subject headings, while keywords searches newer or distinctive terms and acronyms with no defined subject headings. Here are some examples here. There are many examples of situations that alternative terms cover. Here are the few. First one, cinnamon rain, which is used to search behind the scenes as a way to connect the various terms for a concept. The authority fire is a list of preferred terms or acceptable values. The classification schemas is used to make a hierarchical arrangement of preferred terms, and thesauri is defined as books of synonyms, often including the related and constructing words and antonyms. I want to introduce the first two of them more. The first, cinnamon rain. They're not always true. Imagine you are redesigning a consumer portal that provides rating information about household products from several companies. There may be no preferred terms, or at least no good reason to define them. Instead, you can use the out-of-the-box capabilities of a search engine to build cinnamon rains. About authority fires, they have traditionally been used largely by libraries and government agencies to define the proper names for a set of entities within a limited domain. Now, the two later codes that constitute the standard abbreviations for U.S. states, as defined by the U.S. Postal Service, provide an instructive example. And I have analyzed a case online, which is evaluation of controlled vocabulary resources for development of a consumer entry vocabulary for diabetes. Their goal is to close the digital divide between healthcare information providers and consumers and to develop a consumer entry vocabulary for healthcare communications. Their main method is to link two natural language domains of vocabulary. By using this method, they provide entry vocabulary from one domain to the other. In this plural study, they evaluated controlled vocabulary resources for their capacity to support an entry vocabulary from natural language healthcare consumer vocabulary to natural language healthcare professional vocabulary. And this is a conceptual model. We have two results. First, A high percentage of covered term pairs, with more indirectly covered pairs than directly covered pairs, might be one way to make the most out of expensive controlled vocabulary resources. Second, when they research about diabetes-related websites, they found that the number of such sites in the first 20 results from a search was increased by substituting a physician term for its related consumer term in the query. Here, the two summaries that I have found. First, while controlled vocabularies can be powerful, they could not solve all the problems of your site. CV is a lot of work. They are often difficult and time-consuming to maintain. Second, when people visit your site, they will immediately begin trying to understand what they see. A well-designed and regularly updated controlled vocabulary can help connect the concepts your users have in their heads to the concepts you present on your site. That is when real communication will occur. Here is all the reference that I have made, and thank you for watching.